Hello, welcome to Digital Influence. Today I'm speaking to Carradean Farley. So Carradean is a high-ticket sales specialist. He's been working in sales himself for many years and he's really started to nail the online sales piece and combining it with offline sales. He runs an awesome group called High Ticket Sales, which I'm a member of and I get a ton of value out of. And so I'm really excited to have him on the show. He's also an Australian from South Australia, so a bit of a down under episode today. So welcome, Carradean. How are you going?
Thank you. I'm doing very, very well. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time out of your day. I really appreciate it. And I really hope for anybody watching this right now, I'll be able to provide some value to you guys, give you some information and tell you a bit about what I'm doing and how you can make a big difference in your life. So I'm excited to be here.
Terrific. So tell us a bit about you and your business, Carradean. I know you've been in sales for a while. How did you get into sales and how has your business transformed recently and what you do now?
Cool. So how I got into sales was when I was I'm 32 years old, right? I'm not some young punk, but when I was 17, I didn't want to study. All I cared about was playing the drums, and that's all I cared about. And because of that, I fell into sales roles, and it was just for a friend. I ended up getting a job in this high-end audio store selling like speakers for like $30,000. And that was my first sales gig. And I found I had a very obsessive, compulsive personality. And I got so obsessed with these speakers, I got really good results. And I realized I was good at it pretty early in my career. And then I went on to selling IT accounts. And it was pretty much when I got engaged, I thought, oh, maybe I should get some kind of career. And then I went on to selling cars for Toyota. And that's when I thought, oh man, I've made a huge mistake. Like, what have I done, right? And that was going on 7 years ago now. And I pretty much found myself searching for answers. And that's when I came across Jordan Belfort, like the Wolf of Wall Street. I came across that guy. He used to come to Australia all the time for a lot of corporate training. And reaching out to him was like the first big step in terms of investing in myself. And I noticed a big change in results straight away. And then it was like obsession, became salesperson of the year. And then I was getting pulled aside to become a sales manager. And I was a 28-year-old running a dealership. And then it started to really click that like I was onto something pretty powerful in terms of what I'd learned, in terms of what I developed. So I went on to coaching, as you do, because I was pulling guys aside and really helping them change their results. And it started off with the United States, Canada, and the UK. And it started off in the auto industry, but I found that all of these skills were transferable. And in the meantime, I was being mentored by some extremely up there guys in the internet world. And I was like learning all this stuff and learning all these things. I was developing my own business and I found myself coaching people. So in terms of what I'm doing right now, I'm running a program which will teach people how to nail high ticket sales, whether it is your own consulting, selling online courses, selling high ticket items. But pretty much there's a few phases. There's the phase of like the guy that doesn't know anything, got their own personal doubts, their own fears, their own problems that they need to get past. And everybody tends to have those. And then going on to, selling high ticket items where it might be real estate, homes, cars, mortgages, getting into the MLM world and network marketing, all that kind of stuff, right? And then the guys that can then create their own product and their own services, whether that be the done for you services, the consulting, coaching, and then really going on to a high level. And it's really cool so far. It started out with me. The motivator for me was, hey, look, I want to make heaps of money, right? But then I found out how much I was transforming people's lives. And this is about 3 years ago. I've been doing this for a little while now. And I found that very quickly that it wasn't about money anymore. It's still a very big part of it, right? But it became very much, it wasn't the key motivator for me.
And so when people come to you, what are their problems and what are the sort of gaps or challenges they're facing that you're able to help with?
Yeah. So I can say what's going to strike a nerve with some people, because most people, the problems they think they have are generally not the problems that they do have. But a lot of people that are clients of mine, they're entrepreneurs, sales professionals, or they're guys that just want to do a lot better in life and get past that $100,000, $200,000 a year of personal income and then start to grow it and get really high up doing that. And I find that the problems that people have are getting leads, generating their own leads, appointments, closing transactions and maintaining profit margins, and also doing it at a frequency that's high enough to deliver really good results. So it's kind of across that spectrum. Problems are. So I found myself trying to really package that together. So an entrepreneur or a sales professional can come to me. I'll give them the complete solution to increase their results in high ticket sales. Awesome.
And so you said a lot of the clients started coming from overseas. How were they finding you initially, Carradean?
Yeah, so I'll tell you about my first client, right? So I was in a private group. I was getting mentored, and the only way that I would have ever have this, was speaking to a friend about this not long ago, and I was telling him how the first time I really paid for like a mentor, I'm talking like really paid, right? And when I first came across it, like if the old me was to come across it, say like 5 or 6, 7 years ago, would see something like that, I would think that it was complete garbage. And oh my God, how can somebody charge so much money for mentoring, right? But it was pretty much a journey of doing programs like Carradean University, paying for private mentors, like paying for coaching, then learning about marketing. Then it was like program after program after program, and so much money spent. And then because I had so much success doing it, my mind just kind of changed because of it. So I was in this little private group. I found that the area I had expertise in was sales, especially increasing people's appointments, and also the process involved from getting somebody not really trusting you, not really sure about what you're doing, and then gaining their trust, building the value really high, and then really closing on that. I made a few videos about handling every single little problem. And it was like, I need to think about it. I need to speak to my wife. I'm not sure. I'm over budget. But then also incorporating that into my own little process. And I posted a video in a little group. And it was within about a day, I had a girl from New York contact me. She was in finance. And at the time I was really undecided on what I wanted to do. She got in touch with me. How do I pay for coaching? And I didn't want to even do coaching. I wanted to make my own course and webinar and do that stuff, right? And I was like, oh, well, I didn't want to shoot myself in the foot. I was like, oh, well, yeah, we can do some coaching, maybe a couple of sessions, like a couple of hours. Like, what do you think is a fair dollar amount? And she's like, oh, what, you want to leave it up to me to decide? And because I just didn't want to shoot myself in the foot, right? And she goes, well, I could pay you $1,000. And I was like, okay, cool. And then she's like, yeah, just send me a link or something. And I was like, how do I do that? I didn't even know. I was like, okay. I was going into my PayPal account. And then about 15 or 20 minutes later, I had $1,000 US arrive in my account. And a few years ago, that was about $1,360. And I was like, what has just happened? Right? What has just happened? So that was my first experience of making money online. And really from there, it just came, it came to me just really learning about systems, creating, predictable marketing where you can, if you put a certain amount of energy or money into a certain thing, it's going to deliver this result. And that's pretty much the key. And I see a lot of guys, they're just blogging, they're doing content, influencer marketing, and they seem to be doing all this blogging, but I don't really know how that's reflective of their bank accounts. So that was my first client. So the guys that come to me is generally people that don't really know how to get results. They're almost there and they feel like they're almost there and they're putting work into it and they're not really sure what they want to do. And that's kind of what I do.
Awesome. And so how do you work with people now? Have you sort of stuck to the coaching model, or have you started to roll it into a bit more of a program?
A program, definitely. There's a program of mine that goes for 12 weeks, which you get lifetime access for. So you get access to that. You also get personalized action plans from myself on a regular basis. And then you get to be a part of a secret group where I put in a lot of my own sales calls, my own, like the real deal, like, right, I actually record these calls, give people access to those, which is pretty crazy. And then we have regular mastermind sessions, can be between anywhere from 2 weeks to 3 weeks. We all meet up, we talk about the problems and challenges that everybody's facing. And really what was beneficial for me was starting out was finding people like myself that were like-minded, because a lot of people, whoever's watching this video right now, you are different, right? You're somebody that wants to learn. You're not like somebody watching like a home improvement show, drinking a beer and just zoning out like a zombie after your 9-to-5 job, right? You probably, maybe you're an entrepreneur right now. Maybe you have a job and maybe you're curious. And to find people like yourself, that's not easy, right? But I can assure you, once you find people like yourself and once you get curious, it's always about asking yourself the question, hey, does this work? And if I learn this information, will that benefit me in the future? Which it does, it does. It's quite cool. And when you have that little community, that support, you can get in touch with me. I'll respond within 12 hours on my personal Skype account. You get access to that as well. And it's really, really cool. And we just force you to become successful. So awesome. That's what I'm running at the moment.
Fantastic. And so tell us a bit more about some of the clients you've worked with, either the girl in finance in New York or a typical client.
Yeah, I'll give you an idea. I had a business coach, Tom Walker. He was kind of doing okay. He was charging anywhere from like $300 to $400 for his services. After doing my course and after consulting with me, I was like, okay, we're going to put it up to £3,000 from the UK. Then he started doing that regularly on a daily basis, making like £3,000 profit in one day, like personal income for himself, right? And that was the result that he got there. Another guy that's a really odd one, a guy, Clark Quick from San Diego. He's a dog trainer and he started his own dog training business, right? He's making about $35,000 a year. Really nice guy. Didn't really know how to get sales happening. He was going to like dog shows, which in California, there's one every like 5 seconds over there. Like every weekend in the state of California, there is a massive dog show. So we worked out for him how to actually capture people's details, get them pre-sold, book an appointment, go to their house. And he was selling his dog training services for $1,995.
Wow.
And then he would outsource the work and create a profit of a $1,500 profit. So this guy was lacking a huge amount. He was lacking confidence, unsure on what to do. He had no process, no system. And I get a text message one night saying, hey, I made $8,000 today. And I was like, what? And he's now on track to make $300,000 a year for him and his wife. They're buying a house in San Diego, all this kind of cool stuff. So that's where it kind of changed from just being about money, when you can have that kind of impact on somebody's life. And the reason I'm going to keep pushing, the reason I'm going to keep doing this is because I know I am onto something quite powerful. And I know I can make a big impact. And in terms of my plans and about me, I want to start maybe doing events, maybe later in the year, early next year, probably in LA. Love that place. And I want to maybe start doing some events there. So that should be cool.
Awesome. Now, tell us about the internal shifts that go on for these people, because I'm sure it's not just putting a zero onto their fees in order to get these results. What's changed in their mindset or outlook that lets them perform at a different level or do things they weren't prepared to do before?
What happens, what I see happen all the time, they just get over it. They're scared or nervous, or they're worried about failing, or they don't have the confidence. But if you have an order, like a system, and you learn, say, a system, all of a sudden that's where you get your confidence from. And when you know that it works, when you realize that these things work, that there's actually incredible pieces of information that you can put into your business and put into your everyday life, even your understanding of money, your understanding of time, your motivation, your goals, what drives you deep down inside, right? When you get more of an understanding of that, your future just changes. It's like somebody, if they're going to go and lift weights and they don't know how to lift weights, but if they get a personal trainer and find out how to do it properly, that's when they'll get better results. So the shift that they have is getting over their own doubts, getting over their own fears, learning incredible skills to actually, have a $50,000 contract and close that on the spot, without any fear and without resorting to discounting their product or service. That's really cool. I got Matt Moy. He's a client of mine, social media agency. He was doing it for that's very popular right now. I got a few of those guys that I'm mentoring, and they start by doing $500 a month, and then, okay, cool, man, we're going to change it to $2,000 a month. And then this guy goes and closes like 3 within a week. of 2,000 each per month recurring revenue. So he just made $6,000 a month recurring revenue, which is pretty easy for him to maintain. So I just said, dude, you just created, you know, $60,000, $70,000 a year for yourself
Real.
from having those internal shifts and learning those skills.
Awesome. And do you look at the online side of things? So do you do marketing and the extended pre-sale piece? Yeah.
So I'm running about 5 or 6 campaigns at the moment, which is like a bit of a juggle, keeping an eye on that. So I'm very much into the sales funnel world, creating ads and experimenting with copy that works. There's always that element of that also. People get so caught up in all of the funnel world, and you know, this Facebook ad feature, this feature, the bots, the messenger bots and all this kind of stuff. It's like people are going crazy and losing their mind. But at the end of the day, unless you're offering something with an incredible amount of value, all that stuff is not going to work, right? Well, it's going to work to some extent, maybe, right? But you need to be offering something that provides value,
for sure,
to somebody's life. There's a cool, I have a short program. It costs $37, and I give away a coaching funnel, a consulting funnel. Awesome. That will go from a Facebook ad to opt-in, a VSL presentation, a booking page, questionnaire, then bang, you're on a call with them, and how that actually works and all the retargeting. So I'm pretty into it, to answer your question.
Cool. Well, we'll make sure we give out those details at the end. It sounds good, Carradean. Now, I want to sort of get your input. If someone is at a point where they're thinking, look, I really want to crank up my sales, or I know I need to do more marketing, what would be the first, like the practical steps they need to take to either get ready or to, sort of crank this out themselves? And then, afterward, I'll get you to tell us how to get in touch with you if they want to grab that offer or talk about working with you one-on-one.
So people getting started, I would recommend offering some help at no cost to somebody, and literally making a difference and getting results is the first key. Let's just say if you had an online coaching program or you had some digital product, having results to back yourself up is very important. So find a small group or selective group of people that you can really make a difference in their life. Get testimonials, create your own private group, and then you can start to go in the world of Facebook advertising and sales funnels and actually driving people into something that you already know works. So you'll find that when you start to get people results, you'll see a common trend of what problems they had, and then also what problems people think they have. So I did a survey, right, for salespeople in a particular group. I said, hey, what is the main thing from stopping you from selling more? What's the main thing holding you back, right? And it was like, my manager is an asshole. it was like, oh, I get lazy. Oh, I lack motivation a lot of the time, or I don't think it's worth it all the hours. And then it was like, I'm lazy. Oh, I lack motivation. And then all of a sudden, and then it's me. And there was probably about 30% of people that blamed other situations like the market, my product's too hard to sell, my manager, the company I work for is hard. But then I found there was a real common trend of, hey, it's myself that's in the way. So when you have that product or service that provides value, and when you've done that research, you can really put that into your copywriting to then essentially bring people in, because what you are offering is exactly what is up there for them at the same time, right?
Cool. Yeah.
I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. And so once you've got that information, you're starting to get that into your copy, what's the next step to sort of reaching out to your market or prospecting or getting?
Next step is providing a huge amount of value, right? Giving away information for free, which is pretty hard. And I've given stuff away for free, and I've been like, oh man, like I invested like years and years and years and thousands of dollars just to even find this stuff out. So giving it away for free is quite hard to do. But when you are getting the results from providing that value, that's when you know that you can really start to draw clients in. Like, you can really start to charge what you want, and people see through everything, man. People know when something is bogus, and when you're genuine and you realize that you're doing the real thing and you have real information, it actually becomes quite powerful. Doesn't matter how slick your landing page is, or your website and that sort of thing. It's funny, like a couple of guys, you'll see like some real professional photos and they're wearing a suit and they like look like a millionaire, right? And they're not wearing a belt. They forgot to wear a belt. Like, if you were truly that successful, you would have a freaking belt to wear with your suit. Like, people can see through it, and that being genuine is really important as well.
That's right. No Lamborghini in your garage shots, you reckon?
Yeah. And it's quite funny. People, I'm really bad with grammar, and I stutter a lot, and but that stuff doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you got the value, when you're onto something special, and you can change people's lives and provide value in the marketplace. That's when all of that stuff doesn't really matter. If anything, you become more relatable. Especially with me, like I used to feel really socially awkward. I had no people skills. I was shit scared. If you put me in a party and I didn't know anybody, and you walked off and I was there with you and I was there and with a complete like room of strangers, I would be so scared. Like, that was me 7 years ago.
Right.
You know, that's where I was at, and I had that massive change in my life. And now people think I'm a maniac and overconfident, which is probably true, right? But that journey, I wouldn't trade that journey for anything.
Cool. And in terms of getting people onto the phone and then what to say to them, can you leave us with a few magic one-liners, whether they're intro lines or objections or closing lines? What are the words from the master? Okay, so what motivated you to book your call with me today? What motivated you to actually take time out of your day, schedule the call, prepare for the call, be here with me right now? What motivated you to get to the stage you're at now? Cool, love it.
And then shut up. What's the main thing that you want to achieve that you haven't achieved in the past? And what do you want to fix in this next journey that you couldn't fix in the past? What's the exact thing that you're after? You might find that somebody's done a program in the past and they just had to watch heaps of videos. And they're worried if you recommend your program and it's just videos, that might not work for them. What's worked for you in the past? What's the main thing that you want to achieve? And whether you do business with me or not, I just want to give you all the information. I want to help you out. I want to show you what's available. I'm going to show you a few different alternatives. And doing that is really just providing service. Selling is service, like giving somebody a huge amount of service, a huge amount of information, and finding out what they liked in the past, what worked for them, what didn't work for them, what they want to achieve. Somebody going to the gym might want to just get healthy and fit, where the other guy going to the gym might want to get fully ripped and have big pecs because he feels like it's going to maybe help him pick up girls, right? So two people can go to that same gym for a completely different reason, really.
Yeah, so
even though it's
both their motivations are what's driving them, so you know what to sell to.
That's right. And I'll use the example of a Toyota Camry, right? You would never catch me dead buying one of those cars, right? But for somebody that wants a reliable car, economical, a big back seat and a big boot, for a particular kind of person, that is the perfect car. So you can be sold on selling that product, right? But someone might buy a Toyota Camry because they think they look sporty. Or they think they look racy. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's the same product. So if you came across a person, whether it be your coaching program, your consulting, your services, hey, what's the main thing you want to achieve? What's the main thing that you want to change that you couldn't change in the past? What's the main thing you think you need help with? What would accelerate you to get into a point where you can achieve your goals? Oh, well, if I did this and this and this. What difference would it make if you did actually achieve the goals? What difference would that make in your life? And then I won't give too much away, but you can really, take people through a journey in the consulting world.
Totally. No, that's good. There's a couple of things there, a couple of angles I hadn't seen before. So thank you. That's great.
And this is, and that stuff is really just scraping the surface. Like, it's really just, it's the tip of the iceberg in terms of what is possible. And a huge amount of stuff is possible in the online world. because we're on the topic of the online world, right? The possibilities are absolutely huge. And it's just a matter of you digging deep, finding out what's real and continuing to learn.
Terrific. So look, I'm really keen to get the details for this this offer you've talked about. So you've got and I've checked out the sales page. I haven't actually signed up yet, so I need to get my link too. But there is a ton of stuff in here, isn't there? What's in this $37 offer, mate?
So this is another one where I will probably take this down at some stage soon, right? So I guess if you're watching this, it might be incentive-based pricing for you, but I wanted to provide so much value on one particular product to show people I'm the real deal. And I just wanted to make it impossible for people to say no, right? when it was the person, right? So I go through all the mindset changes, all the shifts that you need to make. Then I go through a detailed sales process from start to finish, whether that be in face, how to actually talk over the phone, how to use the tonality in your voice, then how to overcome every single little objection, how to close on high ticket sales, how to follow people up, and how to triple your appointments. I go through that whole process. And then the next stage, the next phase for people, once they've achieved those skills, is then setting up yourself a sales funnel. So I do a complete walkthrough where I bring it up on the screen using tools like ClickFunnels, Facebook advertising, retargeting, the tracking pixel, and I show them how to set it up from scratch. Cool. Literally the whole thing. So I actually give away a funnel for free, included in the $37 product with all the copywriting and everything. So you can just plug and play, be up and running in about 30 seconds. But I go through a walkthrough how to set it up, what third-party software to use and how to integrate it, how to install your Facebook ad tracking pixel, how to set up a Facebook ad campaign from scratch, how to set up your retargeting campaign from scratch, and how you can really structure it to achieve some crazy results and get people on those calls and start to own the online world.
Terrific. And you and I have both done programs and paid thousands of dollars for this, haven't we?
I know. We have. There will be some people when this it's in the beta stage right now, and people have just started coming into it like crazy. And there will be some people annoyed with me what I'm giving away here. I can assure you of that. People that have built their whole business on Facebook advertising. Or sales funnels and
so where can we get it? Where can we get it, Carradean?
Okay, you can get it at Carradean.com. So that is CARRADEAN.com/fast-track-order. So I call the course the fast track for obvious reasons. And I really want to provide a lot of value to everybody out there. That's
sounds good. So Carradean.com fast track order. I will put a link below this interview so you can click it there if it's still available. So if you're watching this on a replay, then don't dilly-dally, because I know Carradean has talked about taking this down already. So if you're seeing this months or years later, it may not be available. And
one thing I really want to get across to you guys, I will continue to ask everybody's questions. You get in touch with me on my fan page, my personal account. I've got a unique name, so the spelling will be on that link. But once you punch me in there, you can get in touch with me, and really look forward to helping you guys out. Fantastic. And what about if someone wants a more one-to-one experience? What's the best way to get in touch? Is it to go to the website again? And best way is to go to the Facebook group High Ticket Sales. Cool. And get in touch with me personally. And then we can schedule a call. I'm happy to help people out, and we'll go from there. Awesome. Yeah. So if you just type into Facebook High Ticket Sales, that should come up, and it's got your photo on it, I think. On the my mug's on there. Cool. Yep. Awesome. Well, Carradean, that's tons of value you've given away. So you're definitely walking the talk and eating your own dog food here. So look, great talking to you. Great speaking to you, man. What you're doing is really, really cool. I had a look on your page. You've got heaps of people there doing some really cool stuff. And I feel like anybody that comes in contact with you can just get a huge amount of value as well. So that's really awesome. Terrific. Now, to wrap up, I'd like to ask my guests what one tip they'd give themselves or someone else starting out. And you've already shared a little bit, but what would be the kind of probably the mindset tip in your case, I think, that might change our approach to sales and make a big difference for people just getting started in their sales or entrepreneurial journey? Be very selective with who you take advice from, whether that be your mum, your dad, your partner, your friends. They can be very dangerous. And if you start listening to them, that can be very dangerous as well. So if you're in the area of sales, you want to go right to the top, find out who the greats are, get that incredible information, learn that information, implement the information, and then literally cut off contact with other people that are going to give you advice. People are so good at giving you advice, and it's borderline toxic a lot of the time, right? So if you're in the entrepreneurial world, they don't believe what you're doing is worth it. Don't ever listen to them, because what you're doing is worth it, and you just need to go for it and achieve greatness.
Awesome, Carradean. Well, thank you. And look, I will see you in the group, and looking forward to jumping on that fast track product. So
awesome, man.
Thanks again. Have a good night.
Thanks for your time, bro. Thanks, guys, for watching.